With everybody jumping into 3D printed bodies, I'm going to sand down this one. I already started, but then I got thinking, I'm sure everybody knows, but maybe some of you don't, that when you're doing it, you want to do several different grits of paper. Me, what I do is, these are 1000s, they're for when I'm done, because I put high build primer on it. I'll show you that too. These are 600 grit, which I do after I do like a heavier grit. Like I'll do 80, then I'll do like, it depends on how rough the body is. Like right here, I'm gonna hit that quick with the sander, save myself a lot of time. So it'll just depend on what I do. I personally use whatever I feel like at that moment for the area that I'm working with. But you wanna start with your heavy grit, then go with your lighter grit. So for example, this is a 275. Now that's probably good enough if I wanted to sit here and work hard, right? You see it barely done anything. And I know it takes more time than that, but you'll see real quick, I'm gonna zip right through that with a little bit of 80. I'm gonna use a sander just because I have one and that's a big flat area. But you gotta be careful when you're doing this not to overheat the surface. So, and I've done it a few times. You might see me melt it, but I doubt it. Keep an eye on this. See there, I really took it down. I should still do this little spot some more, which I'll zoom in and show you guys what I'm doing. Basically, I take out all the ridges when I first start. This is quite rough because it's 80 grit. And a lot of you guys might disagree with what I'm doing here, but I got a technique that works for me and maybe thought I might be able to help someone else. So I'm gonna go at that a little bit more right here and right here, and then I'll start with a different grit. So in a perfect world, I'd have, 80, 120, 200, whatever. But me, I'd jump up, and also I'd have paper that fit my sander. But this is what I bought at the automotive store just to do this quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and start sanding it with 600. If I don't see any progress, I'll move to another grit. Just like I thought it would, that went perfect. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just move to something a little bit lighter because I only need to get this down so far so I can move to the high build primer. So I'm gonna go ahead now with 1000. That did a real good job. It's pretty smooth. I mean, there's still a little bit of a ridge right there, but I think that that's just a body seam that I'm gonna have to work with. So the roof's good. I mean, I'll go over it by hand, but it's pretty damn good. This truck is gonna look nice. I think that the way this body's seamed though, if I was to do it again, like I cut it here, I'd probably cut it there and then I'd line that up better to start with. Then I wouldn't have to take as much down off of the roof. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working my way around the whole body doing this. I'm gonna use the sander for a minute and then I'm gonna go back to not using the sander and doing it by hand. Well guys, that was one side. I got it done. Just keep in mind when you're doing this, like, I guess I never mentioned it, don't use 80 grit real heavy unless there's like a spot where the layer lines were real thick. I don't know. I just been doing it, so I kind of don't think about when I advise other people that. Also, another good way to finish it is like when you're just trying to smooth it off, grab one of these sponges. There's several different grits you can get. You pick. And you can get a pretty good job out of them. It helps speed things up, a little easier on your hands. So I'm gonna keep putting in work, guys. Watch. Okay guys, as you've seen, it's a job to do one of these, but if you feel like doing something special that you can't just buy, you want a hard body, you gotta put in the work. It is what it is. This was actually quite smooth. I got awesome printers. It looked good before I started, but for a 3D print, it was still rough. As you can see, listen, this ain't bad. You rub your nail on it, ain't bad. And I listen for the squeaks when I'm sanding. Hear that? All right, so just another little thing I do. But I'll be putting in work out here for you guys to get this finished. I want to get some fresh paper before I go in and sand these areas here. I got to do the tailgate, and there's a couple spots I got to put putty because when you build these, some of them are really big for the printer, and you got to glue the seams, and I want it to look nice. So watch for part 2 of this. I'm not going to paint it like I did in my other one where I had trouble with the paint. The rules with Canada and the paint are getting ridiculous, but I've got paint ideas. Also, guys, keep in mind too that when you're doing one of these, if you don't want to put in that much work, you can just prime it with this stuff. This stuff makes short work of it. It's the sandable, and it feels light scratches and sands really easy. It's Duplicolor. I love it. There's white and I think gray and other colors, whatever. So keep an eye on this project, guys. Thanks for watching, and sub for more content. Thanks.